Hey, this is singer-songwriter Castella, and you're listening to my girl Brenda Moss on Lady Diva Live Radio.
This is Brenda Moss, a.k.a. Lady Diva, here for Let's Jazz It Up. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. That is Young Lion by the artist-producer for this evening, David McLorren. David, welcome to my platform.
Thank you, Brenda. It's such an honor to be on your show. I'm so glad, for the opportunity to, kind of chop it up with you and talk all things music.
Yes, yes. I've been waiting for you for months, maybe a couple of years or so. You've been at it. You've been really working hard. As hard work really is paying off. You just getting better and better. And that track I just played, Young Lion. What's the story behind that melody?
That song, that particular song is really about being young at heart, no matter how old you are, and not being afraid to embrace, your dreams, your goals, your conquering your fears, and really living life to the fullest. A young lion is a sign of real of bravery,
Yeah.
And so when I decided to pen that song, it was all about the inspiration I got from looking at young people and how, the future is ahead of them and how fearless they could be sometimes. And,
Yeah.
thinking to myself, I should never lose that no matter how old I get. So we should
Right.
never say to ourselves that we're too anything to not, pursue the things that we have in our hearts to do. So
Right.
that's Young Lion in a nutshell.
Yes, I love it. I love it. It's addictive. It's very addictive. It puts you at peace of mind. I love it. I love it. And where are you calling from, David?
I am currently in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington.
My home is actually my home state. Where I grew up, spent most of my time is New York City, but I love Seattle, Washington because it's just green and peaceful,
Okay.
and I commune with nature out there a lot. So.
Wow. Well, thank you. All right, Seattle, Washington fans, call in. Phone lines are open. My guest line. Give us a shout out. So, as we move along with the show, I would like for you to introduce yourself, David McLorren. As I will begin, you love Bob Marley, and you was a music choir director in church,
That's
right?
correct. Yes. Yes to all of the above. I am David McLorren. I'm award-winning in several categories for my music. I love all things creative. I got my start in the music business. I started out in reggae,
Okay.
so that's where some of the influence, for Young Lion and some of the reggae tunes I do would come from.
Okay.
I was also a church choir director in New York City and actually in Seattle, Washington when I lived out here in the 90s. So, my foundation really, is in church.
Mm-hmm.
And in the reggae world. Those are the two main places where I got exposed to music.
Okay. All right. And thank you for that information. Now, what makes you choose to do smooth jazz, R&B, gospel, and hip hop? Why you choose those preference of music genres?
Because the thing is, all those musical genres actually, feed off each other.
Yeah.
You have jazz as your base, for a lot of music that you had today. The hip hop artists sample them, the R&B singers, emulate them. So there's a lot of interchanging that goes on in the music, And my style of music is branded something a little different in that it blends all of those genres together to create my specific sound.
Yes. And thank you for that information. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to mention the newest album, which is it The Villain?
Yes, The Villain is my latest full album.
All right. And is it already out streaming right now?
Yeah, it was released right before we got into quarantine last year.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
it took me a few years between albums to actually get that one done. And it was not because I didn't have the music, but I felt, you know, there's a growth process that I was going through with everything in life, you know, and with my music, just, you know, just developing that sound. And I feel like, you know, like cooking a good meal, you know, you never rush it. You always, you know, take the time to make sure all the ingredients are in there and that it's well marinated, and that when it's served to the people, that it's exactly what the taste buds are asking for. So that's why I take my time with that particular album.
Right. And it took me a while to go through that album. And I also went through the other album, Life Happens, which is my friend Joyce Spencer that I had her on my show. And I really love the track on there that's called Open Your Eyes. I love how y'all collaborated and did that. But I would like to play Lit. Now, Lit, what's the story behind that track there?
Well, you know, everybody's definition of lit is a little different. For me, lit was about the freedom of expression and freedom of just letting loose and enjoying life. It doesn't mean that you need a substance or anything to get you high. It means you get high off of the music or the people that you're with, you know, just the celebration of life itself. So that's the whole point behind lit. You know, it's like lighting up pretty much.
Right. And thank you for that. Thank you for that. A lot of people misunderstood it, so I'm glad you explained it from your point of view. So we're going to stop talking and spin some music. Here is Lit by David McLorren, and this track is on the Velen album?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. All right. Here is Lit. We'll be right back. You stay right there, David.